Welcome back to DM-Nastics, the gym for dungeon masters to work out their minds. I'm DM Neil, aka Jote Maniac, but I am not alone.
Never!
Yay!
I don't think I've ever let you do a proper intro for me. I'm sorry, shut up. I'm the GM Tim.
Yeah!
I'm here too.
The chaos is at an all-time high, but I wouldn't have it any other way. So, we're going straight into it because we're going to tackle an article. This is very meta, so I will try and be as concise as possible. We're going to tackle an article from our go-to person, J.R. Zambrano, who we've had on the show before, from Bell of Lost Souls, focused on the cartoon weapons from the D&D cartoon that were in a free piece of media, and they're in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So all of that to say, we're hitting everything. It's a full body workout today because we're doing an article from somebody that we know that's in a free piece of material, link in the show notes, and it's also in the new Dungeon Master's Guide. So,
and I have no idea what it is.
Also, we tie back to the cartoon from the 80s. So if there's not a touch of something in here for you, this might be the wrong podcast.
Wrong.
This might not be it. And I get it. That's okay. Okay, so that is a key piece of context. Say that again.
I've never seen the D&D cartoon.
Totally
I know it exists.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen like the screenshots of it. But I have never actually watched an episode. I've seen the intro because, it's on the interwebs, but I've never gone and like searched for it. And I have zero memory of it.
I, however, have watched it a lot. I remember buying the DVD box set this sucks. I don't like saying these things. It's fine.
Before the 2000s. That's okay. That's all you need to say.
No. In the late 1900s, Amazon delivered to me in a horse-drawn carriage.
When Netflix was still doing just DVDs to deliver.
Yep. So it was the early 2000s and they had a box set. And in that box set, though, they actually had the stats. And so I'm actually going to see if I can pull that up while we talk.
Okay. Stats for what? The characters?
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see the picture here. So we got a wizard. We got probably like a barbarian. We got a unicorn. We got a ranger. That's funny. Another barbarian, maybe? Probably some sort of other caster. I can't even tell what they are. And a fighter, maybe?
So this is the early 80s that this is coming out, which means it was in production in probably 80. So
second edition,
more first than that. So instead of a monk, that's actually an acrobat.
An acrobat. Oh, which one?
Diana. So Diana is an acrobat.
Which one's Diana? The one with the headband?
Yep.
Or the one with the cape?
Headband and the quarterstaff.
Great. Okay, so acrobat, but now actually a monk.
If you were going to transfer, yes.
Well, we got to bring it to 5.24. That's what all the characters. That's the thing that I'm looking at is for, right? Like it's.
I think just with second edition, if your strength ever got to 18, you would roll a D100 to see how strong your 18 was. I feel like that's what we should do anytime we refer to the new version. We just roll a D100 and say that. A 5.35 today.
Oh, yeah, no, I call it 5.24 because they refer to it in 2024.
Yes.
And I'm not going to say 5th edition 2024. No one is.
Yeah.
No one's going to just call it 2024 because that's a year, not an edition. And why would you refer to it as it's not 5.5 because it's not quite halfway. So 5.24.
I like it.
That's that. I totally call it that. But back into it.
You know what? That's a good place to start, though, because organically you have started talking about Diana, the acrobat, who is very much a monk. Like when it comes to all the things that she does in the cartoon, very monk-like, but she also has this quarterstaff that is magical and often.
Yeah, but monks have a quarterstaff and any monk item is a magical weapon.
Yeah. And so this is the quarterstaff of the acrobat.
It's an actual item that we're going to look at. Oh,
yes.
Cool. Okay, excellent. We got Diana. All right, so I dig this. Also, I do like the new character sheets. I built 6 new characters with 6 brand new people yesterday. It took way longer than I wanted it to with 6 new people all at the same time, even with their own books, because people tend to like overthink it. But These new character sheets are hecka easier to use.
I like them a lot.
Yeah.
We will not. We don't have to address the things I don't like today, but
No,
I do like the new character sheets. And you, like I said, we'll have a link in the show notes. It'll go. You have pre-made versions of all 6 of the original characters, as well as the 7th, who also has a backstory that is very similar. Stumbled into the world, stuck there. Basically, you're rounding out the team.
I don't know if people are watching this for you, but I'm actually like taking notes. So I don't know if you edit the video for this too, but like they're gonna see me scratching notes. I don't know. Maybe you can hear me. Can you hear it when I scratch a note?
Yes, very.
Oh yeah, okay.
Nice. Oh, that was
a good scratch.
It's like someone intentionally made that for like you were watching a video.
I mean, I kind of did. I held it.
That's right okay. Hey, well done, Foley work. Top notch. All right. Quarterstaff of the Acrobat. You have a +2 bonus. It's basically a +2 bonus on attack rolls and damage. While holding the weapon, you can use it to emit green dim light out to 10 feet.
Cool. Either
as a bonus action or after you roll initiative, you can extinguish the light as a bonus action. That's an interesting mechanic that I don't know how I feel about.
Okay, hold on. While holding this weapon, you can cause it to emit dim green light up to 10 feet, either as a bonus action or after you roll initiative, or you can extinguish the light as a That's kind of confusing. So let me see if I can interpret that properly. So this is saying, because I know a character will be like, I know a character will be something like, so we can do this, right? And so the question I have is, while holding this weapon, so I'm holding the weapon.
Yes.
I can cause it as a bonus action, or
yes,
after I've rolled initiative.
Correct.
I can emit a dim green light from this quarterstaff.
Correct.
Okay. I mean, I don't hate the idea that you can do it after you roll initiative. That's a neat little addition to this 5.24 because that if that's on things like, say, mage armor, which I haven't looked yet, but that's an instant kind of like thing that players always ask, hey, can we say that this was ready to go? So I don't actually hate that.
I hate how much I want to talk about this is because we don't have the time for it, but put a pin in the idea of just allowing each character to do a bonus action as part of their initiative.
Mm-hmm.
A bonus action or reaction. After you've rolled initiative. Interesting. Yeah, but that's the part that really stuck out to me. While holding the weapon, you can also take a bonus action to alter its form, turning it into a 6-inch rod for easy storage, or a 10-foot pole, or reverting it back to a quarterstaff.
Okay, I dig that. Still pretty cool. Although I don't think it needs a bonus action to do that, but that's a me thing. Maybe it's a part of the new system where you're like using actions to interact with items. That could be part of that.
Yep. And next, acrobatic assist. While holding the weapon in its quarterstaff or 10-foot form, you have advantage on dexterity acrobatics check.
Right, because you can use it to do awesome things.
Yep. Attack deflection. When it's in quarterstaff form, when you're hit by an attack holding the weapon, you can take a reaction to twirl the weapon around you, gaining a +5 bonus to your armor class against the triggering attack, potentially causing the attack to miss you. You can't
use using reaction to give you shield.
Yep. And ranged weapon, quarterstaff form, as the thrown property with a normal range of 30 feet and a long range of 120. Which she throws it in the cartoon.
Yeah.
That may not.
I like this weapon. This is a solid weapon. It's good for very rare. It's a +2 damage. I have no problems with this at all. This is something that I would make for a monk.
And I can say that this has done a really good job of the flavor of the weapon, because a lot of the weapons have more of a glow property. So then you have that dim light to 10 feet. Acrobatic assist. Number one thing that she's probably doing with it is getting over something by basically pole vaulting.
Yeah.
And basically everything you could kind of think without just, making it overly complex. I think it's great. You think it's great.
I mean, I have no problem with this. Is there anything else to look at with this? I mean, level 4, that to give the level 4 character that ability is like setting yourself up for an epic proportion kind of campaign. You've just bumped that character up to like a level 8.
Which they stumble into the world and immediately are addressed with Tiamat. So
that's true. Okay, so it fits. Oh, I do like that they gave them scribe background is what they gave this person. I'm sorry, I'm getting hooked. I'm not supposed to look at the characters, right? We're just
talking magic items.
Okay, I'll carry on. Who's next?
Up to you.
Next in the picture? Well, let's look. I'll look at the picture. Okay, so I opened the article back up and we went to little Bobby.
Yep.
Bobby's tiny.
Yeah. So
Bobby's a barbarian? Bobby's not a barbarian.
This is going to hurt. There are too many bees. So Bobby is a barbarian.
Bobby the barbarian.
And Bobby's barbarian buddy is the unicorn. So which like
Bobby's barbarian buddy is a unicorn named Bob, right?
Yeah. A bouncing baby.
Art.
His bouncing baby buddy. Bobby Barbarian. Unicorn. So they're the ones that look the most different because he's 8. It's like a very young
of course.
unicorn. Yeah. And now it's
not
a full-size unicorn.
Character sheets. That is a
man.
That is a Viking. That is not. It's like Bobby is more like what we're seeing there. Yeah. Path of the Berserker. Interesting.
So,
okay.
But Bobby wields none other than the Thunderous Great Club, also very rare. While attuned to the magic item, your strength is 20, unless your strength is already equal to or greater than that score. The weapon deals an extra 1d8 thunder to any creature it hits and an extra 3d8 thunder on objects that aren't being worn or carried.
Okay.
Additionally, you get a clap of thunder, where you can strike the weapon against a hard surface to create a loud clap of thunder audible out to 300 feet. And you create a 30-foot cone of thunderous energy. Basically, you DC 15 strength or you're knocked prone.
Right. So it's a getaway cone.
Yeah. Or if there are multiple objects you want to destroy, it'll do extra damage to everything in the cone.
So it's a shatter club. Does thunder damage, knocks them away just like shatter can, and then earthquake. So it does like seismic disturbance of a 50-foot radius. I love that word. Earthquake. All right.
Yeah. And so
go ahead. Sorry.
Structures
in contact with the ground that take 50 bludgeoning damage, and each creature on the ground must succeed on a dexterity 20 saving throw or be prone as well. Concentrating, then the concentration is broken, or a DC 20 saving throw on the concentration. That's wild. In addition, 30-foot, there's a fissure. Okay. I mean, I would rather have the quarterstaff. I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
This sounds cool when I first look at it, but I mean, clap of thunder. Okay, fun. It's a cone. That's pretty cool. That's not bad, I think, but 1d8 is not very much. Like 1d8 on a creature, but 3d8 to objects. I don't know. That strikes me as being
an additional 1d8. It's already a great club. So you're going to do 2d6 plus 1d8.
Okay, but still, that's like you give that quarterstaff with 2 hands, 2d8 plus 2, you get a crit. You've done the same thing, right?
True.
Just saying, the extra damage is I don't know.
I mean,
I'm hesitant whenever I see an extra dice of damage. I'm always automatically skeptical because it strikes me as being kind of like, I think there are better ways to make magic items, but that is a me thing. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you can only do earthquake once, because I was like, this is just a spell, right? I did look it up. Yeah. So you can cast an 8th level spell out of this basically once a day.
Oh, it is an 8th level spell.
Yeah.
I mean, I do like the fissure. That's pretty cool, but doing it once a day, not bad, I guess. This would be definitely one of those items that the character would use only once in a while. This would not do, I think, as much as it would. Maybe the thunder damage would be more. The extra strength is big. That's big. Because I guess that's where the bonus to your damage comes in. Because now you're going to be doing, if you're 20, you're doing an automatically +5?
Uh-huh. So this was in my head. What I realize now is this is also directly on his sheet to the exact degree in which I thought about doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I just choose to dump stat strength, which Bobby has a strength of 10, and then you just suddenly have a strength of 20 instead.
Right. So now we can give him look, the Constitution score is 17. So he's got a massive con because that's where the 15 went into.
Uh-huh.
Clever guy.
Which also kind of to a degree plays back into the cartoon because it is a child,
right?
Who has the strength of 20 now.
Yeah.
Also, I guess you wouldn't inherently get stronger because you're always magically strong. So is that why he grew up and still has a 10? Is that why he has more of a wiry frame? This is me obviously projecting, but I think it's fun. So you think it's good? I think it's
okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good.
Yeah.
I would probably don't think I have any players who would pick this.
So yeah, who's the next one that jumps out at you at the image? In the image,
Let's do the wizard.
Okay, what good? One of these is going to be a bummer, and I'm excited to get there.
Oh, Presto the Wizard's Hat of Many Spells.
Yes.
I mean, okay, so that image that's in the article, this kid looks like he's got kind of like a Orko vibe going for him.
Good. Wow. Head, nail, bam.
All right. Because he definitely looks like he probably doesn't know what he's doing. He just tries to cast spells. Is that fairly accurate? Okay.
Very accurate. Basically, some pseudo-childish statement that is supposed to be the spell. And then it invariably kind of doesn't always work the way they would.
I want to cast this. Okay, let the DM monkey paw you.
Uh-huh.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's look at this. So he's got pretty decent spells. Level 2 spells. Hat of Many Spells. This pointy hat has the following properties. Spell casting focus. I don't mind that. While holding the hat, that's kind of stupid. You can cast it as your spell focus for your wizard spells. Any spell you cast using the hat contains a somatic component. You must reach into the hat and pull the spell out of it. Unknown spell. While holding the hat, you can try to cast a level 1+ spell you don't know. The spell must be on the wizard spell list, and it must be of a level you can cast, and it can't have material components more than 1,000 gold. Once you decide on the spell, you must expend a spell slot of that spell's level. Then determine. Wait. While holding the hat, you can try and cast a level 1+ spell you don't know, but you have to know it.
Okay.
What?
Okay. That's wild. That's a very dumb way to describe this.
This is a useless item.
No. So it can't be a cantrip, is what that's trying to tell you. So you can cast anything that's level 1 or higher of a spell that you don't know. But it has to be on the wizard spell list. Like, it can't be a druid spell or a cleric spell. And
it has to be within my level ability?
So if I could cast up to 3rd level spells, I know Fireball. I don't know Lightning Bolt. I could attempt to cast Lightning Bolt out of the hat, even though it's a spell I don't currently know. And to do that, I would then need to decide.
Make an Arcana check.
Yeah. And expend. But here's the thing. I expend a spell slot of that spell's level.
Oh, this is a wild magic hat. Okay, well, I mean, fun, but also meh. Cast a random, 50% chance of casting a random spell determined by 1d10. Enlarge, reduce, with the enlarge being 1, reduce being 2, fairy fire, fireball, gust of wind, fireball.
Hold on, though.
Fireball?
Hold on.
Yeah, okay.
To start, if I pass, I do the spell I want.
Right. This is a fail.
Yeah, so fail, on the fail, I just want to make sure.
Fail and you cast polymorph. Like,
yeah.
On what? Like yourself?
Who were you trying to cast on?
Oh my God. I mean, could you imagine doing this on light?
You have a stunned condition till the end of your next turn. Believing something awesome just happened.
I do these are all from the the old, I don't know if they're still from it, but a lot of these are from the chaos magic list, the D100 list that used to exist.
Pull out some non-magical items, bout of magic sickness, petrified, non-magical item, creature, a hostile swarm of bats. You pull a magic item out of the hat on a 96 to 100.
Yeah, but then that just makes the DM have to come up with more work. No DM would ever do that. They'd be like, you find this.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, it disappears after an hour.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I mean, this is kind of meh. The idea that you have to pull this hat off your head and then use it, that just strikes me as like being kind of, this makes a wizard even more less of a wizard.
It makes them presto.
Oh, is that the idea? So it's like items to make them exactly into the thing?
But yeah, so from a narrative perspective, like in cartoon accuracy, very, very solid work, because it makes for an interesting show where the wizard is, doing these things and struggling with his magic and having to figure out like, oh, how do I make this work? Even though it's not necessarily the exact right tool for the job. Again, great for a cartoon show about a wizard and a kid in a world he doesn't know. All of those things are fine. As a magic item that you want to use regularly, a bit of a pain.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder. I mean, I kind of feel that there's probably better ways to do this in even D&D, like literally make it a sorcerer instead of a wizard.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that's all he has to do, make it a sorcerer, because there are sorcerers that can try and cast spells they don't know by
Yeah.
using sorcery points and then rolling on the chaos magic, right? Like,
Yeah.
at least I remember that being the thing, or that's something I just did to my. That's something I just did. Maybe I don't know. Yeah, wild magic still there. Wild magic surge. Once per turn, you can roll a d20 immediately after. If you roll a 20, you roll on the wild magic. That's the only difference instead of a 1. But I mean, that's okay. Yeah, I don't know. Neat, but meh.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm supposed to think anything other than that.
No, this is how it feels when you watch the cartoon too. You're like, wow, well, the DM really likes some of these kids.
Yeah.
The DM doesn't really like some of the other kids.
I think the monk is definitely a favorite right now. Okay, well, let's look at this next one. This next one is Nico. Who's Nico, the cleric's mace? Wait, hold on. Nico is a new character. She didn't appear in the original cartoon, but was added. Okay, I like this. Nico is a cleric, and her magic is the unimaginatively named Nico's mace.
Yeah. Oh, wow. It Great. Doesn't have a lot going on. We did not have time to do much for Nico.
Of course not.
The mace has 6 charges and regains 1d6 expended charges daily at dawn. While holding the mace, you can expend one of its charges to summon Celestial.
I mean, that's pretty cool, but still, like...
Okay, so, again, they're level 4, and we just gave this character a 6 casts of a 5th level spell per day.
I mean, fine, but the new summon is not quite what it like they've upped summon, and I like the new summon style, but this is still kind of like, there are so many better things you can do with it for a cleric. I mean, let's give it healing. Let's make it a mace of healing. like even my drag queens that I ran games for came up with a crowbar of healing, for God's sake. So like, why can't they? I don't know. There's some imagination that's lacking, I think, with this. It feels like it was tossed in just to make sure you had a magic item.
Yeah, and
making it a mace is like, okay, but still.
Well, it's such a consistent mechanic too. So this just is what it is. And if you also think of like, what does your normal adventuring day look like? Am I really going to be putting them in 6 fights? And then they're rolling the D6. I mean, I guess the only time it comes up is when you're just bummed because you rolled a 1 on the 1D6 and didn't get those charges back. But at that point, it's really just there's another party member at all times, because like when I start, I summon Celestial, then I start playing. Like why would I do it any other way? Like it doesn't make any sense to just not always just summon a Celestial every fight I get into.
Yeah,
it also lasts for an hour. That means I have a Celestial for 6 hours a day.
I mean, that's basically just adding a new character in. I would give this person a name and everything.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like I would actually make the Celestial Spirit. Like maybe that's the character.
So I think towards
Nico is just their person that they have to kind of like manifest through.
Yeah. So I think of like the summoning in Naruto, where I
don't know what that means.
Okay, so that valid. So when I say that, because not everyone may know, but basically they sign a contract with the type of creature that they're summoning. So for Naruto, it's frogs. Kakashi has dogs. They're snakes. So basically you sign a contract with the group that you're summoning from, and then when he summons them, they have a name and a personality, and they're like, hey, why did you summon? But, and it could be, hey, awesome, what are we doing? Or good Lord, why did you do this again? I don't want to be here. Right. And so you can play that up. And then as he levels, they get larger and more powerful and things like that. So you could even have it scale along with you, and you're always summoning the same one back. Or as you level up, you're summoning a different one because you're more powerful. There's all kinds of options when it looks this way. And then we also don't have to play through the idea of like, are we prestiging these poor things?
So maybe this is the idea that they're going for with this, but I don't know. I feel like if you're going to make a magic item for a cleric, you would do much. I think there are much better ways you could have done this.
Yeah,
especially considering you have carte blanche. There has been no cleric. Yep. You just get to make something that fits in with the group, and this doesn't even fit in. Well, unless there's no one else that does damage. I mean, the only person that really has done damage so far is the barbarian with his thunder damage. So is that a thing? Is there no real like? Well, let's look at. There's that.
We'll get there.
There's a. Okay. Well, there's a. What's on my screen next? I got the Sheila the Thief.
Oh, get ready to be bummed out. It's a cloak of invisibility.
Great. So is it just a cloak of invisibility?
It is just a cloak of invisibility.
Great. Okay. Well, there you go. Carry on.
Yep. It's a real bummer.
It doesn't do anything else.
No.
It's just a cloak of invisibility.
It should have been Sheila's cloak of invisibility and done something more.
I mean, you'd think so.
I would have called it the Shroud of Invisibility or something like that.
The one thing different though is it's a condition, not the spell. So that means that it can't be counterspelled.
True.
And it can't be dispelled. So I'd say that is pretty good.
Oh, they gave it legendary. So it's above the others. Very rare has been.
Oh, well, yeah. But
while wearing the cloak, you can take a magic action to pull its hood over your head and expend 1 charge to give yourself the invisible condition for an hour.
Yeah.
The effect ends early if you pull the hood down. No action required, or cease wearing the cloak.
I mean, that's pretty damn good. That means that you can do actions while invisible.
Yeah.
This is I would say so far, that's actually better than it's not just a cloak invisibility.
So this again.
Unless it is. Unless the cloak invisibility does the same thing.
Yes, it does.
Do you know what I mean? Like, is there an actual item called cloak invisibility, or is this it?
This is it. This is the new D&D Free Rules 2024. This is the version that it pulls. So it is the new version of a cloak of invisibility, which is interesting because this describes the way it's used in the show much more, but it's also the way that they're just presenting it as the new version of the item. Because for the most part, she never does any damage. She is true thief in the idea that like she puts the cloak on and goes and does something. You don't know where she is. And then all of a sudden the thing is done because she's in the right place at the right time because nobody can see her.
Do you know the old one was the exact same? I'm looking at the legacy one. While wearing this cloak, you can pull its hood over your head to become invisible. While you're invisible, anything you are wearing is invisible with you. You become invisible when you cease wearing the hood. Pull the hood down or up requires an action. Detect the time you are invisible in increments of a minute from the cloak's maximum duration of 2 hours. After 2 hours, the cloak ceases to function. For every uninterrupted of 12 per, it goes unused. It gains 1 hour of duration. So they're just more specific that it is not a magic item or magic spell.
Yeah.
And it's less time and it doesn't have that weird recharge extra. I don't know. I'm kind of down for it. The condition part is the catch. That's the thing that would make anyone who's like a rogue. Because think about it. Now the rogue is always stealth.
True.
So for that entire hour, that rogue is stealth. Every action they make is with advantage. Mm-hmm. Every attack they make is with advantage. They do not use a bonus action to hide.
Yep.
It's made the rogue an efficient strike.
At all times.
Well, for that entire hour, right?
Yeah.
All sleight of hand checks are made with advantage. All stealth checks made with advantage.
This one's interesting for me because it's not going to... It has the proper flavor to be the item from the show. Mm-hmm. It will not ever really be used for that when it's given as a magic item in a game, because Sheila doesn't do damage. Like, I know I addressed that, but like, that's just not how she approaches her role in the party.
Right. She's a sneaky.
Yeah. She goes, she gets gets the object, flips the switch, does the thing, moves over here, this, that, the other, helps someone else hide potential. All of the things you can think of. The number one thing that doesn't happen is damage. Never. For any reason. I don't even think she has a weapon of any kind. Maybe throw a rock from somewhere. But immediately when I think about the rogue that I play, I'm going to get the most sneak attacks that I've ever snuck or whatever that is. And like, that's all I'll ever do with it. Or why would I do anything else? So it's interesting.
So who's next? Let's scroll up. Who's next? We got Ranger, Hank. I don't know if Hank had a glow up or a glow down. Hank's character looks kind of creepy. The new image, Hank looks like he spent a little bit too much time in the forest.
So Hank is the oldest character in the show and definitely carries the burden of being the leader and like being concerned at all times.
He's the Peter from the Chronicles of Narnia.
Yes.
He's the gotcha. Okay. Which makes Eric Edmund, right? that Cavalier dude. What is a Cavalier?
Yes.
I'll look it up after. No, let's stick with Hank.
Okay, so Hank, energy bow.
Okay, I mean, very Clash of the Titans.
Yes.
What's he got? Is it literally called energy bow? I mean,
Yeah.
that's again. All right, you gain a +1 to attack rolls, damage rolls. Great. Magic weapon, no string. Cool. Every time you pull back an arm, it makes a magical bow. I love it. Force damage instead of piercing. That's amazing. Disappears after it hits or misses, so you never have to worry about ammo. Pretty cool. Arrow emits bright in a 20-foot and dim an additional 20-foot. Yeah, so that'll work for a round. I like that because that's a clever way to use, like, hey, we can't see in the dark. Let me shoot an arrow down the hallway and see if I can see anything as it goes by.
Yeah. Also, it's force damage, not physical, which or not piercing.
Yeah, force damage is great.
So you're basically shooting real angry magic missiles.
Well, you're shooting. It's Eldritch Blast. It's an Eldritch Blast bow.
Yep.
But you can do other things. So arrow restraint. Whenever you use this weapon to make a ranged attack against a creature, you gain restrain the target instead of damaging it. Love it. Okay. Arrow transport. As a magic action, you can fire one arrow from this target you can see within 60 feet. The target can be a willing or provided the target can either be a willing, medium, or small, or an object that isn't being worn or carried, provided the object is small, can fit inside a 5-foot cube. Teleports. Jesus, you can shoot a person to teleport them? That feels broken. Arrow of transport. So you shoot someone. So some of these wordings are a little bit off. The target can either be a willing, medium, like I get, or an object, but that the sentencing is sometimes the rules have a weird way of languaging that don't make sense in the brain until you.
So that's the idea of like hitting someone with it and getting them to go somewhere else because you're.
But they have to be willing. Yeah. So it's a way of helping, I guess, your allies.
Correct.
Here, let me get you out of that thing. Gotcha. Okay. I mean, not the worst. Energy ladder. As a magic action, you can loose a flurry of energy arrows from this weapon at a wall up to 60 feet away, and the arrows glowing rung. I mean, that's fun. Last for a minute before disappearing. That's just to give it like mechanical time to get up and around. I mean, I'm down.
Yeah,
it's kind of fun. It's silly. This is definitely made to imitate the cartoon.
Yes,
like you can just by reading this. I don't even have to have seen it, and I know what it's doing. This is an ultimate MacGuffin item.
Yeah, it feels like the Dungeon Master really liked this kid.
Well, no. See, you know what? That's not at all what I get from this. This is the kind of item I would give to a character who wasn't doing anything except for one thing.
Yeah. Hank.
This is the kind of item I would give to a character so they were more diverse in their actions.
Yeah.
Like, stop just like stabbing at somebody with your damn sword.
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what this strikes me as. I mean, I've done things like this before where it has like certain things that would definitely help them when they're like, there's or this is the person who I know is responsible with the arrow of transport to like actually help their allies. They would know to stay in the back and shoot and get that person away from them so they could move around or things like that. Right. The wild thing of this is this actually like this removes grapple from anyone. So if I grapple you and somebody else shoots me and I'm willing, I've just removed that grapple.
I believe that exact scenario happens in the show at least once.
So like that's what I mean. This is a DM who I don't know if it's necessarily likes him, but definitely the DM is like, I trust you not to abuse this.
Yeah, stop using. Okay, hold on. We got to put daily uses on that. Sorry. Sorry. We got to slap the band.
Well, and there are none. That's the thing. No daily uses and no arrows. Right? Like that's pretty potent.
Okay. So this is one of the ones that I did want to bring up. Okay, so I am looking at the 3.5 version of the characters and their magical weapons, which I don't think it's brought up a whole bunch. These have existed before. So it doesn't describe it as like a certain level. It is 22,000 gold pieces. So that should give you a rough estimate.
I mean, very rare. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
Multiple things.
The energy bow acts as a +2 composite longbow, but accommodates a user of any strength because you're not actually pulling a string.
Right.
And then it fires arrows of pure magical force that deal 2d6 points of damage.
Okay.
And as such, there's no mischance for incorporeal creatures, which that's speaking
It's a
back
thing from the older editions.
Yes.
Okay.
This bow can be used to fire normal or magic arrows, but in such cases, they do not confer the damage due to force. So basically, if you had a specialized arrow, you could still shoot it.
Right. Okay.
When drawn, the energy bow sheds light like a torch. In addition, Hank can use the bow to make a power shot. To do so, before making the attack roll, you call out a number that you're subtracting from your roll and add this number to the damage dealt with any attack.
Oh yeah, so that'd be like turning a bow into a great great weapon master.
Yeah, and it lasts until Hank's next turn. So at that point you'd have to talk synergies. If someone else was giving you another attack, you would still be under that minus plus until your next turn starts.
Sure. I mean, this sounds fairly similar. The only difference is they took away the extra math.
Yep. Yeah, because you gave it more specialized properties. So
yeah,
I like the bow.
I don't know. This is fun.
Yep, I'd like a ranger with it. I mean, it's fun.
I would give this to a ranger. I would, yeah. So far, the only items that I'm really kind of like meh about are the mace and the hat. The hat is kind of like,
it's accurate.
For some reason, it irritates me.
It's like
no, you know what? It's too specific.
Yes. Oh, it's so specific.
It's too specific. Mm-hmm. Like it's if I were playing this character, then fine. Like maybe that's what this is intended for. This is intended for them to play with these characters specifically. But still, it's too. I don't know. Okay, I want to figure out what a cavalier is. Cavalier. A supporter of King Charles I in the English Civil War. Number 2, a small spaniel of a breed with moderately long, non-curly, silky coat.
Perfect.
Okay. What is a cavalier knight? Is a cavalier knight a gentleman trained in arms and horsemanship, a mounted soldier knight? That's the word cavalier has multiple meanings, including a royalist during the English Civil Wars is where it came from. Perfect. I love that. Which is where the knight, the mounted, the gentleman, and the military, gallant military man, that's where that would have all come from. I mean, he looks like a chicken. Just looking at the image of the cartoon, he looks like the kind of dude, he would be the Edmund. He would be the one that Tiamat probably like seduced or twisted or got him to do stupid things. And then they'd all be like, oh, Eric, you silly guy. Now we got to save you. And you got us in this trouble, but we still love you because you're family and blah, blah, blah. Am I close?
So what would be the other thing that he constantly does about everything that needs to be done?
Probably slams his shield into things and runs into all the problems.
Oh, just whines constantly.
Okay.
Yeah, just whines about it. Just, ugh.
Yeah, it's always a chore.
Okay. So
what's his item?
Okay, so hold on though. So the interesting thing is that this has basically always been a subclass.
Oh, this was a subclass?
Uh-huh.
So like this was like a subclass of fighter?
It was in 5th edition. In 1st edition, it was for Paladin. So the interesting thing is in the show, he also only has the shield. So he does not have a weapon.
So the magic item is a shield then?
Correct.
Okay, cool. All right, let's look at that shield. By the way, as much as I'm teasing Hank, I gotta say, Tyler Jacobson is the name on all these art. Yep. He did a really good job. Like, I really dig the kind of like this sketchy, like quick, loose art vibes that are going on with even Presto looks really good.
Yeah. So Tyler's done most of the big covers, the big standard covers for 5th edition.
All right. So Shield of the Cavalier, very rare. While holding the shield, you have +2 bonus. Yeah, great. As bonus in addition to the shield's normal bonus, Tacy. So it's a +4.
Yeah.
Why don't they just say that then? Like, just say you have a +4 to armor class, man. Come on. All right. So the shield has the following additional properties you can use while you're holding it. Forceful bash. Okay. So it's got the smash thing. Mm-hmm. The shove. Taking an attack action, you can make the attack rolls using a shield against 5 feet. The proficiency bonus attack. Force damage, that's pretty cool. 2d6 +2. You would use nothing but the shield ever.
Uh-huh.
Like, you would never use another weapon. You would only ever have the shield. 2d6 +2 force damage. Plus your strength modifier.
Oh, yeah.
So it's going to be 2d6 plus 7 is what it'll end up being, or 5.
Uh-huh.
That's wild. And if the target is a creature, you can push up to 10 feet directly away from yourself. If the target is a size or smaller, you can knock it down, giving it the prone. Protect a field as a reaction when you see an ally. Shield 5 foot immobile or an emanation. Or what is an emanation? That's a new word.
So it's like an aura. So 5 foot around you.
Oh, okay. When the emanation appears, any creature or objects not fully contained are pushed into the nearest occupied space outside of it. So is it 5 foot around you? So it like makes a 10-foot sphere or a 15-foot sphere?
Yeah.
Like how big is that? Rules. Emanation. An emanation is an area of effect that extends in a straight line from a creature and object in all directions. That effect creates an emanation, specifies the distance it extends. An emanation moves with the creature. Emanation's origin isn't concluded. So yeah, I'd have an extra 5 foot gap around it completely. I mean, that's cool. The attack or area of effect that triggered the reaction has no effect on creatures and objects inside the emanation. Great, it's a shield spell, but it's like an automatic miss instead of +5. Lasts as long as you maintain concentration, up to a minute. Nothing can pass into or out of. So that's pretty cool. So it's like it eliminates all attacks inside. So it's not as quick and fast. It's like a 1 minute Leomund's Hut. Creature or object inside can't be damaged by attacks or effects originating from outside, which means that they can't heal anyone too. So anyone inside can't be healed with magic. Anyone outside, it's a 1 minute force wall.
Yes.
Or force the force cage.
The resilient sphere, I think, is what it's trying to go for.
Okay.
Because that's what it was given in 3.5. But basically, you're creating an impenetrable
for 1 minute
barrier to protect yourself or someone else. Yeah.
Yeah. Or someone's. You could group anyone in there. Sort of. That would give everyone like a round to kind of come up with something, a couple rounds. But that would also be really dangerous. I mean, you wouldn't want to have that around you when there's a bunch of creatures. You'd get surrounded. It'd be dangerous to use for a long period. But I mean, it's kind of a cool. I like it. I mean, again, it definitely would eliminate anything else. You would never use anything but the shield. So that plays into the character, I guess.
Yeah. And also, I mean,
does it?
Because he doesn't have anything else. So once they start and they get these magic items, they basically only use these magic items throughout the show. Yeah,
that's the other thing I was going to say. Like, this is the kind of stuff you would give characters if you're a chintzy DM like me who's bad at giving magic items.
Well, I also think of just like even your most basic armor. Like, you're going to be knocking on the door of 20 real fast, if not above 20. And then you're just beating the brakes off of people with the shield.
I mean, still level 4, this guy's got an armor class of 21. Like, that's really high. That's really high. You'd have to be rolling 16 on average every time just to hit with monsters. Like, that's exceptional. That's like you've only got a 25% chance of actually hitting Eric. Did Eric get attacked a lot, or did Eric like always hold the line? Because if I were DMing, Eric would get hit once and then all the monsters would ignore him. They would rush past him, use his reaction, and then attack everyone else because he's up at the front trying to take hits. Yeah. And they'd be like, I can't hit you. I'm going for the squishy ones behind you. Move.
Kinda. Yeah. A bit of that where he'd like just try and get out in front of things. But yeah, the damage is it's a lot. It's 8 to 18 on every time you're doing it. Your minimum damage is 8.
Yeah.
8 to 18 per hit.
I would definitely have it drop off an arm if you rolled a 1.
Oh, yeah. I'd have to like
I'd have a strap break and you have to reattach.
Because you also think with the attack action, I mean, most likely this is a fighter. So how many attacks am I getting?
Oh, he is a fighter.
No, sorry. Not just him. The idea of what class is most likely going to take this.
But even with his character, so he's a fighter level 4, which means level 4. You already get 2 attacks by level 4, right?
No.
Is that level 5?
Yeah.
Okay. But he's got action surge already.
Yeah. So you can go a whole nother round. So at 5, you're putting in 4. So
yeah, and his strength is 18.
32 to 72
already plus 4 to Jesus. He hits hard. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, these are all kind of like cool.
Yeah,
they're definitely for a purpose. I think my favorite is still the quarterstaff.
Diana's.
I think so. It's the one that feels the most useful in a game. Do we miss anyone? Does the unicorn have any special powers, or is it just there to be a pet?
Just a unicorn. It becomes a big unicorn eventually. I mean, so there's another free one. I'll link this as well. Which was super small. It was called Uni and the Hunt for the Lost Horn.
Who made these characters? Like somebody had to have come up with who did this? Adventure credits.
Who did this? Amanda Hammond.
Oh, and Will Doyle. Oh, this adventure is going to be amazing. I mean, I'm not a fan of their characters. I'll bug them about the characters, but this this story will be great.
Oh, the story is very good. The story could function anywhere. Literally has multiple like worlds you can put it in, how you're going to do it. Basically, a temple of elemental evil has existed, but it's coming back.
Anything Amanda and Will do is like just chef's kiss.
Agreed. Yeah, no, the adventure is fantastic. The magic items are something, and like that's why we wanted to have this discussion. When you tie something back to nostalgia.
If he ever plays at my table again, I'm gonna give him
one of these.
Give him the mace.
I am not mad by what just happened. I'm very excited. Okay, so I don't even
tie back to
stat Uni. I was trying to see if I could if they statted Uni out in any way. I don't.
No, I don't see it. Yeah, they didn't give Uni any stats, which is kind of a shame.
Or even in the one that's Uni and the Hunt for the Lost Horn, they didn't give any stats.
Does Uni lose its horn and becomes like a normal horse? Do unicorns shed horns like people shed baby teeth? I mean, they do in my world now, because that's pretty amazing that I just said that out loud.
And then for a while, they're just regular horses.
Yeah, I like that. Even for a season. Well, I mean, like elk and deer and moose all shed antlers every season. Why wouldn't unicorns too? I like that they redid the Temple of Elemental Evil into this adventure. That makes me happy.
Yes, it's very good. So if we were I feel like we ranked them pretty substantially during it. I mean, I feel like if we just want to like cut it right through the middle and give two tiers, like the shield, the bow, the staff, those are super solid. The shield probably at the bottom of that because it leans into such a specific way that you're going to have to play that character because you just have a shield.
But I have played with a lot of fighters who like doing that. They like that shield bash kind of thing. So I think these items work if you give these items to people who are specifically ready to play a character in a certain way. That Thief's Cloak of Invisibility would never see the light of day at my table.
Yeah.
I would never give that out because of the condition factor. Unless, even if that's the new spell, if that's the new item, then even with the new item, I don't think I would ever actually do that because it's like that's a massive thing. The invisible condition, not a spell, like that's substantial.
But it is the only one flagged as legendary, so I will give it that.
That's true. But legendary at level 4, my goodness.
Okay, but that means we've done it. So if you like what you've heard, and you want to let us know, one of the ways you can do it is to leave us
if you like
review.
What you heard.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you didn't, this is the same way to tell us. You can leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or your podcatcher of choice. Of course, if you wanted to email us and really let us know, you can always do so at dungeonmastersblock@gmail.com. And of course, I'm on most social medias at JoteManiac.
And I'm on most social medias at the GM Tim, TheGMTIM.
And for the podcast, we are at DMS_block, or if you type in Dungeon Masters Block, we should pop up. We're definitely pushing into the blue sky space because many people are, because lo and behold, people enjoy seeing what they're following and not other things. That's crazy. I know. And of course,
come be blockheads with us.
Yeah, come be blockheads. And for everything else on the network, blockpartypodcastnetwork.com. And of course, we want a huge thanks to the bards over on Bombarded for making our intro and outro music. And you can find anything they're doing at bombardedcast.com.
To do that, head over to bit.ly/DM Banter and try some DM-Nastics so your players don't ask, do you even lift?